If you're about to buy a racing wheel for Gran Turismo 7 in 2026, stop. Because half the wheels people still recommend today are either outdated, overpriced, or straight up pointless on PlayStation 5. And if you pick the wrong one, you're either going to overspend or end up upgrading way sooner than you expected. I've tested most of these over the years, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which wheels still make sense right now, and which ones I wouldn't spend my own money on anymore. Quick side note before we start, the links for the wheels I mentioned are in the description. It's an affiliate link, so if you use it, I get a small commission at no extra cost to you, and I always make sure the link is updated with the best active promo. First impressions matter a lot, especially if you're coming from a controller. The very first thing you notice with a wheel is build quality, noise, and how alive it feels in your hands. And this is where a lot of cheap or gimmicky wheels completely fall apart. If you see elastic centering, no real force feedback, or vague marketing terms instead of an actual motor, skip it. In 2026, those wheels make no sense. You're better off staying on a controller and saving up. The realistic entry point for most people is still the Logitech G29 or G923. They're old, they're gear driven, and they're not very powerful, but they're durable, predictable, and a massive step up from a controller. Yes, they're a bit noisy, but they last forever and just work. The G923 adds true force, which at this level is more texture than raw force. But in Gran Turismo 7 it does add some immersion. If you just want something that clamps to a desk and doesn't fight you, these still make sense at the right price. Once you move past that level, Thrustmaster starts making more sense. The T248 is stronger and more responsive than the Logitech wheels. It feels faster, more modern, and the pedals are genuinely solid for this category. The wheel itself feels more plastic, but once you're driving, it's clearly more engaging than a G923. And then there's the T300. Honestly, even in 2026, this wheel refuses to die. It's smoother, more natural, and gives you a much clearer sense of what the car is doing compared to entry-level gear-driven wheels. There is some cogging, sure, but in Gran Turismo 7 it still feels believable. And the big advantage is the Thrustmaster ecosystem. You can swap rims, upgrade pedals, and grow into it over time. If you find a good deal on a T300 GT edition, it's still a very solid choice. Now this is where Gran Turismo 7 really changes. Direct drive. This is the moment where the game stops feeling like a simulation and starts feeling like driving. With direct drive, the motor is directly connected to the wheel. No belts, no gears. You feel weight transfer through long corners, the front tires starting to wash wide, and the rear settling under braking. Details you simply don't get with older systems. Thrustmaster finally entered this space properly with the T598. And this wheel is interesting. It's not trying to win on raw strength. In Gran Turismo 7, the feedback is smooth, clean, and very easy to control. It feels a bit softer and more rubbery than Fanatec, but also more forgiving. The big advantage is ecosystem continuity. Pedals, rims, upgrades, everything carries over. It's not my favorite for pure force feedback detail, especially in more hardcore sims, but as a PlayStation-friendly direct drive option, it makes sense. Around that same budget range, Logitech now has the Pro base paired with the RS50 wheel. And this is where opinions matter. The driving feel is good, especially the haptics and true force effects in GT7. But the overall package is expensive for what you get. The ecosystem is still limited, the base is physically huge, and long-term flexibility isn't on the same level as Fanatec or Thrustmaster. It's not a bad product, but at this price point, it's hard to recommend it over the competition. And that brings us to what I still consider the smartest buy overall, the Fanatec Gran Turismo DD Pro. This wheel exists for one reason, Gran Turismo 7. It's plug and play, officially supported, and incredibly well balanced. Even the lower power version already delivers clarity you won't get from belt-driven wheels, and the higher power option gives you real headroom as you improve. The wheel looks quirky, but it's functional, packed with inputs, and perfectly integrated into GT7 menus and driving adjustments. If you want to step beyond that, the Fanatec ClubSport DD Plus is where high-end actually begins. More power, faster response, and much more detail under braking and through loaded corners. This is the kind of wheelbase you buy when you know you're committed and don't want to think about upgrading again anytime soon. So what should you actually buy? If you're a beginner or desk racer, a G29, G923, or T248 makes sense. If you want a comfortable and accessible direct drive experience, the Thrustmaster T548 is a valid option. If you want the best balance of price, performance, and ecosystem on PlayStation, the Fanatec GT DD Pro is still my top recommendation. And if you're going fully high-end, the ClubSport DD Plus is where Gran Turismo 7 really shows what it can do. There's no single best wheel, but there is a point where Gran Turismo 7 finally feels right, and the right wheel is what gets you there. And don't forget to check the affiliate link below the video. It's always updated if a new deal drops. If this video helped you, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming reviews. See you on the track.